Okay, so for this project, you'll need green, red, black, and white yarn, all weight 4, a 4mm crochet hook, a 1mm one, and a pair of scissors. Okay, so we're going to start with the rim. Mine is going to be red. And you're just going to make a chain, and just make sure it's long enough that it can wrap around your palm. So it should be able to go like all the way around your hand over here. And make sure it's an odd number of chains. Usually I do around 25. So that's 25. As you can see, it goes around my hand. It's not too tight. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of straighten this out and then fold it back. I'm going to stick my hook into that very first chain I made. It's going to be into that loop of the first chain. So I should have 2 loops on your hook. Then I'm going to grab my yarn, and I'm going to pull through both of them. So now I should have this little circle that will like fit on your wrist. I mean your palm. And then you're going to chain 1 and put a single crochet into that same stitch. And go all the way around, and for me I'll have 25 single crochets when I'm done. So right now I have 24 stitches and I want 25. So that means I'm going to put my last stitch into this chain. So that's 25 single crochets. And this one was the very first one I did. This was the chain 3. That's the first one. Go ahead and stick your hook in. Pull through. And we're going to stop here for the rim, so go ahead and cut it and grab your main color. So I got black yarn. Now I'm going to take my black yarn, pull it through the red, and I'm going to pull that red tail to tighten it. I'm going to tie a knot so I can switch colors. Now I'm going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1, and this 1 will serve as a little space. So you should have 4 chains in total. Now you're going to skip the first space. So I'm going to skip this one, go into the second one with a double crochet. This will give it kind of like a net-like look. Then chain 1, skip another of the red single crochets, go into the next with another double crochet. And you're going to continue this around. So chain 1, skip a red, and then double crochet into the next one. So yeah, go ahead and go all the way around with this pattern, making sure to skip a little stitch here, and then also remembering to do a chain 1. Alright, so I'm kind of done with this row, and to end it, so the reason, again, why we have an odd number of chains is that way we'll have this little gap for the last stitch. So to end, I did my double crochet, still need to do a chain 1, which is going to match up with this stitch here, and now I'm going to go into this chain 3, going to go into the third chain there, so 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do a slip stitch in there. Like that. Now for row 2, it's going to be similar, except now we want to make a space for the thumb. So you're going to do a chain 4 again. And then you're going to go into the stitch of the double crochet. The first double crochet. Do a double crochet on top. Now, you're going to do chain 1 again. Then go into the next double crochet. Now you're going to chain 5, so this will be the space for the thumb. That's 5. Then we're going to skip 5 here. So we have chain 1, that counts as 1, then the crochet, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go into this third double crochet, so 1, 2, 3, and go into that with a double crochet. now we've made a little space for our thumb to poke through. Then finish this row with a chain 1 and into that double crochet. So if you're getting the hang of this, we're gonna do another row after this of, you know, these like net-like look, and then we're gonna do some decreases because for me at least, my wrist is kind of like thinner than my hand, so I'm gonna do decreases to make it fit better basically. Okay, and we're gonna end row 2 in the same way with a chain 1, and then go into the third stitch of that chain 3, and then you're gonna continue, so chain 4 and put a double crochet there, chain 1, another double crochet, and when you get to this part where we left the space for the thumb, it's gonna be the same thing. So I'm gonna chain 1, and then I'm just gonna skip the first chain I made and go into the second one. I'm going to chain 1, skip a chain, go into that next one, and then the last one you're going to do is going to be the next double crochet. So you're going to stack it on top, chain 1, and then just go into there. And now it should be pretty simple. Okay, so I'm done with row 3. I'm gonna end it real quick. And then for row 4, we're gonna do some decreases. Not a lot. So go ahead and do a chain 3. Sorry, chain 4. And then you're gonna continue as normal 3 times. So this is a normal one. Gonna do the second normal stitch, the third one, and then for the fourth one, you're gonna chain 1, you're gonna skip one of these, just go into the next one. So that way it begins to like taper off, like that. And you're just gonna repeat that until you get to the end. If it's not like perfect, right? Because you know 25 isn't really divisible by 4, so it's not gonna be perfect, but you know it's okay. So I'm gonna do it again. So there's a normal one, a second normal one, and a third normal one. The next one is going to be one of those decreases. All right. So it looks like for me, I just put in 2 decreases, and that kind of works for me. But you know, if maybe like your forearm and your hand are kind of like similar sizes, maybe this isn't even like necessary, so you can just kind of skip this step. But for me, I think I'm just gonna wanna do some decreases. All right, so I'm done with this row. Now I'm going to finish it off, and from here on out, it should be pretty simple. You're just going to continue this pattern all the way until you get a desired length. I'll let you know how far I go, and then you just make 2 of these and you're basically done. Okay, so I have 11 of these black rows in total, and then my 12th is the red one. And now I'm just going to end it. I'm not going to pull through though, because we're going to do the other room, so we're just going to trim the black right there. Then I'm going to grab my red again. Like last time, pull the color through, pull to tighten, and then tie it off. And then you're just going to chain 1, and we're going to put 1 single crochet into each stitch for a total, for me, a total of 25. So I'm going to start in this one. That's 1. And then whenever you do those chain 1 gaps, just go through both loops of that chain 1 and do a single crochet. Cool. So yeah, just go ahead and do this all the way around. Make sure your stitches aren't like super tight, otherwise it'll look kind of funny. It'll also be like super tight at your forearm. So yeah. Okay, so I'm done with this row. I have 25 stitches. I'm going to go into that first red single crochet I did and pull through, and I'm going to end it right here. And yeah, now you can go ahead and take your smaller hook and kind of weave in these ends however you want. To make the little strawberry, you're going to make a magic circle, and inside do a chain 1, and then put a total of 6 single crochets. And this is not counting the chain 1. So chain 1 and then 6 single crochets. That looks like 6. Then pull that little tail in the back to tighten. So I have 6 single crochets. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go into that first one with a pull through. Now I'm not going to do any chain ones. I'm just going to go into that first stitch. I'm just going to do a little single crochet. The next stitch, I'm going to put in 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. Next stitch, I'm going to do a half double crochet and also a single crochet. So far we've put stitches into the first 3. So for stitch 4, you're going to put a double crochet, then a chain 1, then another double crochet into the same stitch. So this is the tip of it. Now we're going to be working our way back up with a single crochet and a half double crochet in the same stitch. And in the next stitch, put in 3 double crochets. And so this is a strawberry, but you can also make it into a heart. So I'm going to go into, I think this was the chain 1. I think I'm going to go into the one next to it. If it doesn't quite matter, then I'm just going to end it and leave the tail kind of long so that way we can sew this onto it. Okay, so this is the body of the strawberry. And yeah, I guess it could kind of be a heart. Probably not. Cool. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and sew that on, but first let's also make the stem. For the stem, you're going to chain 4. Then you're going to go into that third chain with a slip stitch. Go into the second chain with a slip stitch. And then you're going to chain 2. And so this is, we're just building leaves. So this was one leaf. This is going to be our second leaf. And we'll build a third one off the first chain. So we're on our second leaf here. Now go into the first chain we did with a slip stitch. Then go into the very first chain we did with another slip stitch. And then chain 2 again. Go back into the first chain with the slip stitch. And now as you can see, we have these 3 little leaves. So the strawberry will go on like that. To do the little stem, just kind of pick anywhere that's kind of in the middle and do a slip stitch. So my stem will kind of go off from there. Do the same thing, just a chain 2, then go into the first one with a slip stitch. then pull through. And I already cut my yarn, but yeah, pull through, cut your yarn, and that's the stem. And just to make sure the stem is secure, it's kind of flying everywhere, I'm going to stick my hook through and just pull that tail in, just so that the stem is like nice and secured. And that'll go on the strawberry. Alright, so now we're going to sew the stem on. So just put the green yarn through your sewing needle. And we're going to start by sticking our needle kind of just in the middle of the top of the strawberry. So the top is where the large tail comes out. So go in from the top. And it's pretty simple. You're just going to weave in and out. So I'm going to go into the red. And I'm going to go also through the green and pull through. Then I'm going to go down the green and down into the red. That's another stitch. And you're just going to continue this. So I'm going up and up the red, up to the green. And just make sure that each little leaf is nice and secure. That's the first leaf. I'm going to go into this middle leaf now. And for that little tail from when we started, you can just kind of like tuck that in or something. Or, you know, weave it in beforehand. That's also a good idea. And yeah, you can really just make it however you want. Alright, so I'm done with the stem, and I'm going to just tie the green and red yarn together. So I'm kind of back at the top where I started. So I'm just going to tie the red and green together, and then we're going to put the seeds on. Grab some white, stick it through my needle, and for the strawberry we're going to have 3 seeds. So basically just kind of one here somewhere, one at the bottom, and then one up at the other corner. So you just really go anywhere. I'll stick my needle up through the strawberry and then back down to make a nice little seed. And just to make sure the seed looks full, I'm going to do that a couple times. So I'm going to go back up from where I came from and do it one more time. So that makes the seed look a little fuller. Now I'm going to go behind and tie those 2 ends of the white yarn together. And that's one seed done. Now I'll go to the bottom somewhere. Maybe like here. That won't be perfect. And just do another one. My last one will be up in this corner somewhere. And then to tie it off, go to the back. And I'm going to just tie a knot with this red tail, which is from when we did the magic circle. That'll make sure the white yarn is intact. There's the seeds, and I'm just gonna cut the white yarn to make sure it's not everywhere. So next thing is take one of your gloves and make sure you know you have a right and a left one, because if you make like 2 right gloves, it'll be kind of sad. So know where your thumb holes are. This is gonna be the top for my right one, and this would be the top for the other one, right? Because if I did it the other way, I would have 2 right-handed gloves. So just take the red yarn, poke it through, and you're basically just going to go around the perimeter of your strawberry. So I like I think I'm gonna have it kind of like, maybe like on my palm wrist area. And you're just gonna go in, it'll be a little tough sewing because it is like a fishnet, but just, anywhere you can secure it. So I think I'm gonna start 1, 2, 3, 4th row at the top of one of the double crochets. It's also a little hard getting your needle in and out just because it's kind of like a cylinder shape, but there. Okay, so that's the top of it. Then I'm just gonna go in and make sure all the sides have somewhere to be attached to. So yeah, it's a little difficult to do. Okay, so that strawberry is on, and to tie it off, flip it inside out, and just kind of look for one of those stitches you did. Slip your needle under. Don't pull through all the way, but you're gonna have like kind of a little knot there. And you're gonna wrap your yarn, go behind, and pull through, and that should finish it off with a little knot. And just to make sure it's secure, you can go ahead, do another little knot. And now I'm just gonna take my needle and kind of just like weave the thread in, and then I'll cut it. So yeah, go ahead and do that for your other hand and you'll be done. It might be a little tight to put on, but that's just because like here's a little thinner, but once you get it on, it should look pretty cute. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.